episode 3 of the 179 podcast is going to be about the Open. This was supposed to be live on YouTube, but you need 24 hours or something before you can go live. So the next one we do should be live, so you'll be able to, I don't know, comment, questions or abuse, whatever you want to do, usually abuse. And then we'll save it so you can watch it back at any time. All right, the Open. Yesterday, the Open registration went live. People that have been in the gym a while, they already know what it is. People like Chris Price signed up because they didn't want me abusing him, essentially, for the next 6 weeks, which is good. I think we're at 102 sign-ups so far. 102 sign-ups, which puts us third in the world, number one in the UK. We won't stay there. We just don't have the numbers to stay there. And I don't really care about the numbers, really. I just care that everyone should be doing it. There's no excuse not to do it. Anyway, that can come later on. If you're newer, I guess, you don't know what the Open is. The Open is the start of the CrossFit Games season. So it goes, the CrossFit Open starts February the 26th until March the 16th. And then we go quarterfinals sometime in April. Those are both in the affiliate. And then we have semifinals, which is in person, which is when we go to French Throwdown. And then you have the CrossFit Games, which is the proven ground, if you like, for the fittest athletes in the world. Whoever wins the CrossFit Games can be crowned and can call themselves the fittest person on earth for 2026. That's for 0.01% of the population. The whole season starts in the Open. The Open is a 3-week online competition that's done in the affiliate. So it goes live February the 26th. The workout will come out for us Thursday evening, I would say somewhere around 8 p.m. And then you have Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday to do the workout. The way we run it in 179 is we will have, the Open will be programmed all day Friday, all day Monday. We'll keep it as classes on Friday, 6 a.m., 7 a.m., 9:30, 12:30. And then from 4 p.m. in the evenings, we will run heats, which means you can come in at any time between 4 and whenever the last heat is run. You'll come into the gym. You'll know the workout from the night before. You'll have a rough idea of what version of the workout you're doing. We'll get onto that a little bit later on. And then you'll go into a heat. It could be 10 minutes away. It could be 45 minutes away. We will have coaches in a warm-up area. We'll have coaches explaining the workout to you, standards. You'll go into the warm-up area, you'll warm up, I'll call you onto the floor, you'll do the workout with the judge. The judge will then hand your scorecard into probably Tony that's doing the scorecard, and then your Open is done. Monday for us a very similar format. We'll run the Open as a class, 6 a.m., 7 a.m., 9:30, 12:30. From 4 p.m. onwards, we'll be doing heats. Friday is called Friday Night Lights. Monday is called Monday Night Lights, which doesn't have the same ring to it. Monday redos is what we generally try to call it. You can do the workout as often as you want to. Over the 3 weeks, there'll be different workouts. Generally, the workouts get a little bit more challenging in terms of load or gymnastic complexity or volume as the weeks go on. And then at the end of the Open, you will have a score against worldwide, Europe, UK, the gym, and any other sort of segmented leaderboard you can imagine. For the people that finish top 25% or higher, they will progress on to quarterfinals, which will be in April, I believe, sometime. That's done over a weekend. So that is 4 or 5 workouts done over Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Again, this is for people now that are top 25%. So probably take CrossFit quite seriously, probably train consistently, and of a above average ability, obviously, top 25%. Now, after that is semi-finals. It's something like the top 50 in Europe, maybe more, maybe less, by 10, will go into an in-person competition and compete for a place in the CrossFit Games. It's roughly 5 from each semi-final will go on to compete in the CrossFit Games. Now, the Open comes out on Thursday evening. It'll be announced by CrossFit. You'll be watching it on YouTube. We'll probably do like a watch along in the gym. We'll have it up on the screens. Workout comes out. There'll be like an RX, a scaled and then a foundations version. RX is the full workout. Scaled is a scaled version of the workout. Foundations is like a very, very basic version of the workout. If you're brand new, find the version that you're most comfortable with and do that version for 3 weeks. You could do RX on the first week, a little bit simpler, maybe scaled on the second week, and then maybe you do foundations on the third week. I don't know. We don't know what the workout is, what the movements are until that Thursday evening. There are certain things that won't be in there, running, for example, because it's impossible to make it a fair test across the rest of the world. We have a massive 200-meter hill. Other gyms would be flat, so you won't see things like running. Probably won't see like a rope climb, an echo bike. They're generally workouts that are quite accessible to a large group of people in CrossFit affiliates. Now, if you think you are a good athlete and you know you're going to get top 25%, do not put all of your attention and energy into having the best open score possible. That doesn't make any sense. If you're going to be top 25%, your season, if you like, is going to last a little bit longer. So if you're going to get top 25%, your focus is on preparing yourself for quarterfinals. In quarterfinals, you're going to see heavier movements, heavier weightlifting movements, maybe more complex, more demanding, like a double dumbbell overhead lunge in the past, clean and jerks of 120 kilos plus, snatches of 100 kilos, ring muscle ups, rope climbs, legless rope climbs, handstand walks. These are more quarterfinal style movements. If you know you're going to be in that category, then you should be getting through the open. If you know you're going to qualify comfortably, just get through the open and finish as high as you can in quarterfinals. It makes no sense to me for someone that absolutely burns it down over 3 weeks of the open, repeats the open multiple times, the open workouts multiple times, and then doesn't do quarterfinals. Your season goes on to quarterfinals. So you should just get through the open and base your score, if you like, your finishing result off what you do in quarterfinals. That's a way more accurate representation because there's way more workouts and movements at that point. The quarterfinals is a continuation of the open. If you're not sure, if you think you might be somewhere around quarterfinals, then you should take the open as trying to get the best score possible to get yourself into quarterfinals. And that's like a badge of honor, top 25%, little pat in the back. You do quarterfinals. You might get to quarterfinals and you might not be able to do the loads asked of you or the reps asked of you or the movements asked of you, and that's okay. There are people that sign up for the open that will not be able to do some of the movements that are in the open. There's no problem with that. But again, if you're someone that does the open and then maybe scrapes through the quarterfinals and doesn't do quarterfinals because you can't do the load or whatever it is, that's the same as someone not doing the open because they haven't got a pull-up. You would tell that person that they should do the open and try and get a pull-up. So if you can't do the weight, then you should at least try and do the weight or put yourself in the position where you train for that. If you're not going to get top 25%, which is 75% of people, most people, then your season starts and finishes in the open. So you should put your best foot forward and do as best as you can in the open because it is a competition. They are tests. They're not workouts. It's a bit different. In a class, you can do a workout, which means we scale it for you to suit your ability and line you up so you progress in the future. The open is a test of fitness to see where you are. It's a stamp in time. So my advice would be to try and do the version that's hardest for you as possible and try and get the best score possible and try and finish as high up the leaderboard as possible. And then next year it gives you something to try and aim for and try and beat. If it really doesn't bother you about where you finish, to be completely honest, I don't really care where I finish in the open. Bottom, middle ground, top, I don't care. I mean, this is my 13th open. I'm doing it now just to be involved, to put myself out of my comfort zone, to make myself train when I don't want to train. If that's you, go into the open, have a little bit of fun, relax, and just see where you are. If you get quarterfinals, great. If you don't, cool. you weren't that bothered anyway. If you're someone that's maybe super nervous, you're thinking, oh my god, is this for me? Am I going to be able to do half the stuff? Probably not. But at least it gives you a very good indication of things you're good at and things you're not very good at. And it will give you something to aim for in the next 12 months. I guarantee if you haven't got double unders are programmed, you will spend Friday, Saturday, Sunday practicing double unders to try and get them for Monday. If you're someone that's on the fence of between like maybe a scaled version of the workout and the RX version of the workout, then I would maybe do this scaled version on the Friday and get a score in, and then maybe have a go at the RX version of the workout on Monday. You could do RX on Friday, maybe you get 0 reps, not very taxing. You can then go and try the scaled version in a later heat, whatever you want to do. I would recommend you do the workouts twice. Not everybody will. Most people are going to be one and done. But there's nothing wrong with doing a workout on Friday, coming up with a new strategy, breaking things up in a bit of a different way, and trying to get a better score on Monday. If your open season ends in the open, if you're going to be quarterfinals and you know you're clearly going to be quarterfinals, do it once, tick the box, wait for quarters. If you're someone that's on the line of quarterfinals and you want to, be as sure as possible, you're going to put your best scores in to try and get to quarterfinals because you're on the line, do them twice. And usually people get a better score the second time when they know how to pace it a little bit more. But it's an essential part of being in a CrossFit gym, being in 179. You do the open. It's something that is not optional. Everyone puts their foot forward and does it. Everyone's nervous about it. No one enjoys the feeling of waiting on Thursday night to see what the workout is. Everyone's in the same boat, and we're all in it together, and we're all just doing as best we can against the workout with as many of us involved as possible. Obviously, we have the Tri-Nations things going on this year. Us versus Glasgow versus Method Training in Newcastle, or CrossFit Northumbria, officially. This came from us, Glasgow and Method, being 1, 2, and 3 in terms of open sign-ups last year. Method were top with, I don't know how many, high 200s, low 300s. Glasgow were second. We were third with 210, maybe, less. 200 and something. This year, we're in a competition about who can get the most sign-ups. Glasgow are probably favourites. They have over 500 members. Method have about 450, and we're at about 320. So we're massive underdogs. But if we can get to 300, that is an unbelievable achievement for us as a essentially still a small gym in the world, So if we can get to 300, that would be awesome. We have a load of sponsors, Defiant, FitAid. They're coming in, making sure that every single one of us that signs up the open gets a t-shirt for free. They've covered the cost, and that's awesome. Thank you very much, guys. That's really appreciated, and I know already it's appreciated by the members. We have Frog Grips doing giveaways, loads of companies doing giveaways throughout the 3 weeks, so it's something very, very cool, and a lot of other gyms would love to be in the position that we're in, so we shouldn't take it for granted. And again, it's another reason to sign up for the open, because you have all these things put on for you. If you're someone that's on the fence about it, you don't think you're ready, you don't think you're fit enough, you don't think you're good enough, you don't think you've been training enough, you haven't had enough sleep, your partner's annoying you, you just had a baby, just do it and just understand that, yeah, maybe this year isn't going to be the year you make it to the games. It is what it is. That's life. It's going to be up and down for the rest of your life. It's just about not shying away from something that's difficult and getting involved with everybody else and just doing as best you can for 3 weeks. At the end of the day, once Tuesday comes along, nobody cares about the last open workout. Everyone's concerned about what's coming next. And then once it's all finished, it's like, yep, done and dusted for another year. If you make quarterfinals, awesome. It'll last longer for you. Semifinals, Hannah James made it to semi-finals last year. She spent the first 4 weeks of the build-up to the Open telling me she wasn't going to do it like she does every year. Shock, she signed up and did very, very well. And I think we'll have a lot of people on the line of semi-finals in the age group categories. Maybe even our team could maybe get to semi-finals if we have a good team and do well in a couple of workouts. I don't know. But it'll be something to look at. And yeah, it's going to be a good 3 weeks. It's the first big event of the year. We will get some pizza and some alcohol in on the last one. I mean, we'll probably get some alcohol in and stuff throughout it all, but yeah, it's a massive event for us, and it's bigger than ever this year with the other gyms included and all the sponsors and all of the media that we'll do in the build up to it. So it's something I'm looking forward to. And do I look forward to it? It's a lot of extra work for not much return, but I do look forward to it. The coaches, they'll be more stressed than ever. It's extra work for them, plus the workout. So it's probably not a fun time for them, to be fair to them. But yeah, we're looking forward to it. And we're aiming to get as many of you signed up as possible. I actually had a guy message me last night saying that he's not part of a CrossFit gym. Can he come sign up? That's a fucking extra sign up for us. Thank you very much. But yeah, I think that's it, Magda. Anything I have mentioned that I should have mentioned? Nothing at all. We'll do this live next time, and then we can just save it on YouTube, and I think that would be quite good. I might have spent the whole time talking off the mic.
Is there anything that they asked you when you had, the podcast with the boys? Anything that they asked you on the chat?
On Coffee Pods and Wads?
Yeah.
I mean, they asked me a lot in the chat. Mostly it was abusing me.
Why do you think it's abusing? Why are people so jealous? Especially under the comments, under the posts. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I think that just like people thought that it was that we left out Northern Ireland. Yeah, I get it. It's not that we left out Northern Ireland. It just happened to be that the top 3 sign-ups, one was from England, one was from Wales, one was from Scotland. I mean, if it was 3 from England, then it might have been called something else, I don't know. But we worked hard to be in that position over the last couple of years, and it wasn't a last year thing. We've pushed the Open for 3-4 years now, religiously every year, and that was like an accumulation of all of the effort over the last 3 to 4 years. So the hope is that it pushes other gyms to push their Open signups, and then everybody wins. It's an amazing resource and tool and competition, an event for CrossFit affiliate owners to put on, and everything's done for you. It's a no-brainer. Andy Edwards has given me some shit on Instagram already, saying that he's coming for the top spot in Wales. So that's what it's for. That's what it's for. It's just to create more awareness around the Open and get people excited for it. And I think this is probably the most excited people have been for the Open for a couple of years. If you weren't doing CrossFit in 2018, you sort of missed the glory years of the Open and regionals and all that. So it's cool to see it starting to get some momentum back to what it used to be. It used to be 5 weeks long, which was a lot, and it used to go from the Open to regionals. So you had to figure out then, with no quarterfinals, you had to figure out from 5 workouts who should be going to the regionals. So it's a lot broader test of fitness. The Open is not a well-rounded test of fitness because it can't really be over 3 workouts. You get a good idea, but you need to test more stuff, which is what quarterfinals is. So the quarterfinals, you look at quarterfinals, you've got 3 workouts from the Open, you've got 4 or 5 from quarterfinals. That's a much broader test of where you are, and there'll be a chance to test longer, shorter, lighter, heavier, high skill, low skill, high volume, low volume. It's a much more well-rounded test of fitness over quarterfinals, but you have to earn the right to get there. And if you're not competitive, you probably are, otherwise you wouldn't be in a CrossFit gym. But it's just a chance to get involved and just have an event with everybody else, something to talk about, something to look forward to, and we're all in the same boat together. So get your shit together. Me and the coaches will be on you for the next 4 to 5 weeks. You'll be doing the workouts anyway, Friday and Monday. We've got over 100 people signed up already. All of the reasons you're going to come at me with not signing up, I will slap them down, I promise you. So do yourself a favor and me a favor and sign up for the Open, and we'll let the dust settle on the leaderboard at the end of the 3 weeks. And I'm going to be very disappointed with where I finish. But it is what it is. It's a reflection of the last 4 or 5 years of not doing much. I think that's it.
Unless you want to talk about I don't know, just drag it.
Oh, go on.
But why do you think it's
Why do I think the
There
Open
wasn't
is...
a big boom because some people that are saying like, you know, the Open is dying. Do you know what I mean?
I think the Open was dying at one point. I think a lot of it comes from CrossFit HQ and their media pushing towards the Open and the games. I think it could be a little bit more of a timeline in terms of like I just talked about, being like open, quarterfinal, semi-final games, rather than all open and then nothing much and then games. I think we need to tell the story a little bit better through the open, through quarterfinals, through semi-finals. So what we're gonna do, it's probably the first time I'm telling you this, is we're gonna obviously film through the open. We're gonna film content with the boys, Glasgow and Method, and we're hoping to continue it over to quarterfinals, so we can tell the story of people that maybe it's their first ever Open, maybe it's their 10th Open, that make it into quarterfinals, and we just follow them through that quarterfinal stage. We could follow Hannah James through Open quarterfinals to competing in semi-finals, probably in French Throwdown, you know. So if we can do that, and we can show the timeline, the cycle through Open, quarterfinals, semi-finals when we go to French Throwdown, I think there's no better way to show people what the Open is and understand how special it is. No other sport can offer what we offer. Name me another sport, apart from maybe a marathon when they all line up together, where you can compete against the top people in that sport. You can't do it. Like, you can have the same weight on the barbell and the same rig as Rich Froning and Tia Claire Toomey and all these other top athletes, and you can do this exactly the same workout under exactly the same situation and level yourself up against those top athletes. If you want to play against Ronaldo in football, you've got to move to Saudi Arabia. If you want to play against Luke Littler in darts, you've got to be a good dart player. You can literally do that with the CrossFit Open, and no other sport offers that other than maybe a marathon, but they start in front of you anyway, so still not fair. And it's cool to see how far off you are, for most of us, to these top athletes, and it makes you appreciate how good these top athletes are, you know. But yeah, I think the more media we bring around it, telling the story of the Open and people's small wins. Every year in the Open, somebody will get their first pull-up, their first muscle-up, clean a weight they never thought they could clean before, and just do better than they think they could. It happens every single year. I mean, some people do way worse than they expect. Maybe they've been, you know, cheating reps or not working hard enough in the year. The Open is a great way to figure out if what you've been doing is effective or not. And the more we can build up our media around it and tell the stories, the easier it is to get people involved next year. I mean, I haven't really said anything really this year, and we're at over 100 sign-ups in the Open.
Why do you think that?
I honestly think it's people that have done it before and just don't want me nagging them for 5 weeks. So they're smart, really. The people that haven't, they're not the smart ones, because I will come at them for 5 weeks. We're going to have a QR code put up on a poster in the gym. Dave Shentz has sorted that for us, so we'll put a poster up in the gym with a QR code that I can literally take somebody to, scan the QR code on their phone, and then sign up for the Open. Judges. This is like a cry for help for judges. We need judges for the Open. We will probably be running heats of 10 people. Go on CrossFit.com. Go and find the judges course. Sit the judges course. It's like maybe $10. Understand movement standards, range of motion standards, what's required of certain movements for a rep or a no rep. And if you're comfortable giving out a no rep, you know, uncrossing the arms, maybe taking a lunge and delivering someone a no rep in their ear hole, you are ready to judge in the Open. Our coaches will oversee the judging. I will oversee the judging. But, pardon me, 300 people, we need a lot of judges. So if that's you, you're confident enough to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, not 1, 2, miss a few, 7, 8, 9, 50. You can judge in the Open. We're going to try and get away from couples judge each other. 2 reasons. Number one, potentially could ruin some relationships. Poor Hannah and Clear last year, the year before, where Hannah fucked up his reps. Could have ended the relationship right there. But also, we don't want, you know, someone's boyfriend giving their girlfriend an extra couple of reps because, I don't know, they want to get lucky in the evening. So we're trying to keep it as fair as possible. But we need judges and we need volunteers. And hopefully you'll win some free stuff from the sponsorship package that we've managed to secure. Potentially one more, which we can't talk about, but I'm sure we can talk about that soon. Yeah, I think that's it. I think we've covered everything, right? If you have any questions on the Open, how we run it, whether you're ready for it or not, the answer is always yes. But if you have questions, put them in the comments, put them in the WhatsApp chat, message me, message the coaches, and we will answer any questions for you. But other than that, I think we are done here. See you in the gym.